Welcome to the Dr. April Jasper Show, relevant conversations for business owners of today. Alcon Water Innovations is a proud sponsor of the Dr. April Jasper Show. Water is integral to our lives and to the technology that makes Alcon Water Innovations contact lenses. Personally, I wear Dailies Total 1 because they feel like nothing. With a portfolio that also includes Precision 1, Precision 7, and Total 30, it's easy to reach for Water Innovations lenses for my patients too. Talk to your Alcon rep today and be sure you're getting the most out of Alcon's Water Innovations lenses that translate to all-day comfort. Welcome everyone to the Dr. April Jasper Show. What we want to do today, I'm back with Allison again, the student.
Hello.
And we are excited to have a new episode, really, that is the episodes we call For Students by Students. And so we've created some questions that are all about presbyopia. So as many people know, April was Presbyopia Awareness Month. It also happens to be my name. So I feel like since I'm a presbyope, it's a great topic for us. So Allison, anything you want to get us started with? Ask me some questions.
Well, I'll be going into clinic this semester. I've got 2 days of clinic this week, every single week this semester. I'm super excited. So when I'm going in and I'm seeing my first presbyopia patients, I guess, how do you explain presbyopia to a patient when they come in and all of a sudden they can't read their phone?
Sure.
And they haven't had an issue with it so far ever, but now they're having an issue with it? I mean, how do you explain that to them?
Well, the challenge for you is that you are not a presbyopic patient. And at one point I wasn't either, but now I am. And so what typically happens, and in the old days, anyone over 40 started to have trouble with close vision and ended up in the office to see the doctor. Now, why is it no longer 40? Well, because we have digital devices, so we can make the font bigger, we can have a bright display, which makes our vision better. And obviously we've all learned we can move our arms further. But here's the easy definition. Presbyopia is the inability to see things close up because of age, meaning being over 40, where you used to be able to do that. Now that's with glasses on for people that wear glasses, and for people that are emmetropes, meaning have no prescription at distance, it is something that they experience that is brand new and shocking and horrible, and it certainly can be very emotional.
Yeah, and so one of the biggest things that they tend to say, I think, is my arms just aren't long enough anymore. So when they say that, when does that become a conversation? Is it typically, how does that happen?
You know, it's interesting because sometimes patients will come in and they will say it happened overnight. Really? And it's not true. So, I mean, it seems odd. How can that be possible? But there are many patients where, and I've had doctors tell me, it absolutely happened like that. I woke up in the morning and it was gone. Now, there's interesting things that can push people into presbyopia a little early, such as surgical procedures. I've had patients come in after anesthesia from a procedure, and they were in their 40s, so they were going to have issues anyway, but then suddenly they go, I came out of anesthesia, couldn't see close up, it hasn't come back.
That's terrifying.
You know, I mean, that's weird and different, but it can happen. And those are the things you don't necessarily learn in school, but you learn as you go through seeing patients.
Okay.
So what's interesting, though, about presbyopia, and I hinted at it a minute ago, is that it is very emotional. I think the biggest thing for me when I went through it is, what the heck? I'm an optometrist. This shouldn't happen to me. And
Great.
it makes you feel old, and it is something you have to work through, because if you didn't wear glasses before, suddenly you're forced into, I'm either going to have to wear glasses, contacts, drops, there's drops now, or I'm going to have surgery. What the heck? How am I going to deal with this? And who's going to help me?
Okay. Well, that's what we're here for.
Yes.
So I can't wait to start addressing that conversation someday. So I did want to say I had found some fun things online that I wanted to bring up and see what you had. Fun facts.
Deliver those, please.
Yes, let me see. Okay, so it says, I didn't know this. It says around 1.8 billion people in the world are currently presbyopic. And that's, 25% of the global population, right? So is that number insane? Do you think that's true, or is it surprising to you? And then, do people know that it's 25% of the population? So do people actually understand when they're coming in that they're not alone? This is actually very common?
No, I don't think they do. I think most patients come in and are shocked that this is something that's happened to them. Now, I don't think it's our patients necessarily, our return patients, because one thing I'm very proactive about, Allie, and I think it'll be good for you as students to kind of remember this, is start the conversation early, because it's such an emotional event and such really an earth-shattering event. Don't wait till I'm 40 to tell me, by the way, do you have trouble seeing close up? Instead, you can start talking about it in my late 30s and say, you know, we're on so many devices and using the computer so much. And that's one of the things we ask our patients is, how much time do you spend on digital devices? And how much time do you spend on computers, which they may not put two and two together and no, I mean both. And then what are you doing right now to help yourself see close up? One of the most interesting stories, and my family will love this one, and I won't name names, but one of my family members came in for an eye exam, and he is actually a emergency room physician, and he's in his minus prescription. I will just give you that because y'all can figure this out, and I don't want to break any HIPAA laws. But he has a minus prescription, wears contact lenses to see distance, and he came in, and one day I just said to him at his yearly visit, because he lives out of Florida, not in our area, and I said, hey, any trouble seeing close up? And he says, no, nothing at all. And I said, well, what about when you're suturing or doing things where you have to look at something close? Do you find yourself pushing things away? And he said, yes. I do actually.
Oh my goodness.
And so Allie knows this, but one of my favorite things, my favorite way to correct presbyopia for patients is actually multifocal contact lenses. You do know.
I do know.
And we joke in the office about how it is, and we're not joking in a way that means we're making fun. We're joking in a way that brings us all joy. One of the best parts of the day is when we are able to take a patient who comes in with presbyopia, who thinks they're stuck with just glasses for the rest of their life.
You put them in some multifocals, and man, it changes their world. It's amazing. I love it. It's probably one of the biggest reasons why some things, I had some patients with mom like that when I was 21 and I decided I was going into optometry. I definitely had a few patients I was pre-testing and mom did contact lenses for that I got to see that life-changing moment. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to change lives like this. It's very cool.
Oh, there's tears. There's
always,
emotion.
Always tears.
Oftentimes patients will say to me, oh my goodness, this must be something new because no one's ever told me about it before. And at that point, I just say, well, there's a lot of folks that don't know it exists. You're right. The reality is multifocal lenses have been around for a little bit of time. And I love that I get to go out and I get to teach and show other doctors how to be successful in putting their patients in contact lenses. As long as patients fall within the parameters, I make a box, the parameters of what the lenses are made for. The success rate with the lens I use is 96%, which is incredible.
I mean, I can vouch for it almost every single time, pretty much every single time. They're walking out with those lenses and they're so happy.
And my prescription, as Allison also knows, but the rest of you listening, I'm a +5. I don't mind you knowing. And what that means is I can't see squat, basically. They say when you're a hyperope, you should be able to see distance better than near, when you're...
As Dr. Fetcho says, you're accommodating all the time and hyperopes are a pain in the butt.
Does he say it that way?
He does.
Good.
He says they're a pain in the butt.
Shout out to Dr. Fetcho. Good job. And we are a pain, but we don't mean to be. But we digress. So let's come back to...
I'm also a hyperope, in case you couldn't tell.
But I'll tell you what, when I hit presbyopia and I put in multifocal lenses, it absolutely is life-changing. And if there's one thing I never leave home without, it's a backup pair.
It's like 3 or 4 backup pairs. I think she's got a couple in my bags, actually.
So back to our family member.
Yes.
So he comes in and we do find out, once we questioned him better, that he actually is struggling with seeing close up with his contacts or glasses on. And so I quickly said, well, my goodness, you're in the right place. Let's fix it. And we go put in some multifocal lenses, and I'm telling you, Alcon's multifocal lenses are incredible. We put them on. He looked at me and he goes, I can't even believe this. This is incredible. And what's interesting, I think you'll love this too, Allie, is that every year patients have to come back in because there are changes. Our eyes change. Sometimes it's distant, sometimes it's near, whatever it might be. The good news is, as doctors, we can make that change, fix it, get them their new year's supply of lenses, and they are awesome. It's amazing to see what can be done today.
Yeah. So I guess I had another question. When you have a patient that comes in and it's something that they're noticing, the presbyopia and not being able to see up close, are they coming in knowing that they have presbyopia most of the time? It's because you're kind of warning them if they're a current patient, or are they surprised by the diagnosis? Like, is it, so I guess if it's a new patient, they're probably surprised.
Right.
But if they're returning, I'm assuming it's probably not a surprise. But what would you say?
I think that with AI and with all the ways that people can search things, you would expect that they would know. But honestly, they still don't. And I get that, because it could be a million things. It could be that there's something wrong with them. It could be that, there are other things that cause trouble with vision. So it is very important for patients that they come in. As a patient, if you're listening to this, do not assume that if you are over the age of 40 and you start to have vision issues, that means that it's just presbyopia and you heard this podcast and you can just go buy reading glasses and you'll be fine.
Right.
Absolutely not. You need to have your eyes checked annually. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of other things that can be going on. I can tell you story after story, unfortunately, of people that came in for just an annual eye health evaluation. I don't call any exam routine because there is nothing routine about what we do.
Never a routine eye exam.
But they come in for their checkup, and we've seen and found, unfortunately, all kinds of things that you don't want to be diagnosed with. But if it is going to happen, better to happen and do something about it proactively. Right. So back to your question, no, not everybody knows. Okay. And what they certainly don't know is they don't know all the options. And so we talked about multifocal contacts, which is my number one go-to and what I love the most for me, but you can't possibly just wear contacts.
Right.
You always have to have a backup pair of glasses. And we have amazing lenses for frames that give you great vision, close up, far away, and everything in between. What do we say in the office? We say these lenses, even with multifocal contacts, are going to give you vision from the movie screen to the menu.
Oh, I love that.
Do you like that?
I do love that. Wow, did you just come up with that?
No, I say it all the time. But if you come up with something better,
okay,
make sure you guys share it with me.
I'll let you know. Yes, I will let you know.
But I think the new thing now is drops. And there's a couple of podcasts that we've done where we talk about eye drops. And I love that eye drops can be used in conjunction with glasses and contacts too.
Okay.
So we'll see what the future holds. I think that there have been some great successes. And then ultimately when a patient says, I'm done with all of this, April, Dr. Jasper, give me some other option that is even going to be better. And at that point, there is surgery. So a lot of the companies like Alcon makes multifocal contacts. They also make a multifocal IOL. And so when that time comes, I don't do that surgery, but I help my patients find the best surgeons out there so that they can have that opportunity as well.
Okay, so I guess to just kind of wrap it up, I would love to know if there's one thing about how presbyopia is discussed in eye care amongst all the doctors and their patients, like clinically or culturally. Because, we've got the AI now, we've got all the stuff that you can get all of this information from everywhere. What is that one thing that you would change that way that, for the patients to be able to understand it better?
Right. I think maybe even today I can get better with my conversation about presbyopia and making it short and sweet and incorporating the newer solutions, so to speak. So, you asked at the very beginning, what is presbyopia? Well, presbyopia is when the lens in the eye, the crystalline lens, becomes less flexible and the little tiny muscles, look at the pictures, you'll see some that are great online, stop being able to move the lens and flex the lens. So it's like the lens in the camera. Anybody that's as old as me, you remember we would have focus. And so we would actually change the focus of the camera. Our body is made in such a way that the eye does that automatically. And so what happens as we get older is we reach a point, because most of the research we know, it's all due to ultraviolet. But we reach a point where that lens becomes less flexible, and when it does, we have to give it help. That help would be in different solutions, whether it's contacts, glasses, drops, surgery, but different ways of being able to correct what our body can't do on its own. Don't jump into trying to fix it yourself, though, just like everything else. This is not a one solution for everybody. Every patient's different.
Every single one.
Unfortunately, not everybody can wear contacts. So there's some that fall outside of the parameters, but a lot of people can. And we consider ourselves really specialists in that area. And I love that because we talked about it. I love seeing people just brighten up and see how it changes their life for the better. But I think that the conversation could continue to improve. I would wish that patients would be aware earlier, so all doctors would warn patients sooner that this is something that you'll see happen. When it does, don't worry, you got me.
Yep.
And come on in, we'll find the right solution for you. But we want you to be aware. It is Presbyopia Awareness Month, at least April was. That was my month. And it's important to us that we educate, inspire. So be inspired, students. We want you to know you have such a wonderful path you've taken, and to be able to be a part of this 25% group in the world that is suffering from presbyopia.
It's crazy.
You are going to change people's lives for the better.
I'm so excited.